I'm Gwen Barker.
I'm Amy Wallace.
And I'm Tim Lakin with sports. By the way, top of the morning to you lassies.
What did you say, Tim?
We're celebrating St. Patrick's Day this week, and I was just wishing you both a good day.
Isn't that special?
March 17th. That's the day when everyone is Irish.
St. Patrick was a patron saint of Ireland.
I know. Are you really Irish, Tim?
With a name like Tim Lakin? Are you kidding?
Is he or isn't he?
I don't know. He answered a question with a question.
We will probably never know.
I know one thing. We better get on with the show.
I know. Let's watch the previews.
First, Tracy takes us to the East-West spelling bee. Then, Sean tells us that cancer really stinks. Kristen explains St. Patrick's Day. Then, Stephanie takes us on a cruise. Valita has a story on the indoor track team. Then, Gwen has a story on Black history. Tim tells us about the debate team. And finally, I'll introduce you to the new athletic director here at the high school. Now back to the anchors.
Let's go to the middle schools where we find East and West in a spelling competition. Here's Tracy.
Can you spell apprehension? These students can, but apprehension describes how they felt waiting for the annual spelling bee to begin. Every year, middle schools East and West meet in a battle of the brains to determine who has the better speller to send to Columbus to compete against others from the area. Students try out for the spelling team by taking a spelling test. 10 members are chosen. Parents help their children practice the words in a special spelling book for the contest. The team practices together before the big day. Let's listen.
E-N-D-U-R-A-S-D-E. Lousy. Lousy. Is that one? He felt lousy all day. Lousy. L-O-U-S-Y. Zealous. Zealous. May I please have that instance? He was a zealous supporter of the revolution. Zealous. Z-E-L-A-C-E. Z-E-A-L.
These seats are empty, waiting for those who misspell a word. There is a beginning round, then an intermediate, and even a final round if the students make it that far. When it gets down to the last two spellers, if one spells a word wrong, the other has to spell the missed word, and then another word to win. This year's winner was Jay Nungesser. He won with the word mascara. Let's listen.
Roulette. R-H-O-U-L-E-T-T-E. Roulette. 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 R-O-U-L-E-T-T-E. Mascara. Mascara. Can I have that in a sentence? Her mascara was smeared under her eyes. Mascara. M-A-S-C-A-R-A.
I talked to Jay after the match was over. How did it feel to win the spelling bee?
It was great.
Were you surprised?
Yeah, I was. I didn't think I'd do very well.
How long did you study? What kind of studying did it take to prepare for the spelling bee?
I studied about half an hour a day, sometimes 15 minutes.
Thank you. All of these students came away from the spelling bee with good memories of a time well spent. This has been Tracy Starr reporting for WGLH-TV. Now back to the studio.
I'm really impressed. Spelling was never one of my strong points.
Mine either, and spelling isn't the only thing they do well. 3 Middle School East 8th grade art students won Honorable Mention Awards in the Central Ohio Scholastic Art Show in February. The exhibit was held in the Fort Hays Visual Arts Center. Congratulations to art teacher Catherine Stewart and award winners Elizabeth Bassford, Rob Prather, and Kristen Spatafor.
Moving right along, let's go to the high school where Sean covered a story on cancer. Let's watch.
Hello. Today I'm in the clinic talking with Mrs. Arlene Ledwig, the school nurse and American Cancer Society coordinator for Gahanna Lincoln High School. Mrs. Ledwig, what are the responsibilities of the coordinator?
The coordinator has been asked by Robin Riggs of the Cancer Society to try to get information to the teachers, to let the teachers know that I'm available if they have any questions, and if I can't find the answers, I'll talk with Robin Riggs and find the answers if I can for them, and mainly to be a kind of a liaison between the Cancer Society and the schools. They've placed these people in all of the schools in Ohio, basically. And we have the other two nurses in the schools here that are also liaisons in the elementary and the junior high, or the middle schools.
And what type of literature do you usually pass out to the students, to teach them about cancer or about the Cancer Society itself?
Well, I have brochures available to them if they have questions about a particular type of cancer, a skin cancer, cancer of the breast, or cancer of the uterus or the stomach, and I can give these brochures that the society provides free of charge. If you notice around the room, I have a poster up on smoking. Yeah. I have one up here on reducing your cancer risk. I have another one that's on the door in the room that tells about your lifestyle of how you can reduce the risk in both exercise and your food. And I have available most any kind of brochure that they would be interested in. You can also get film strips from the Cancer Society.
Has there been a very big turnout as of students coming or teachers coming and asking you about cancer?
I've been real pleased with the response of the teachers. I sent out a letter after I got the information from Robin, and I sent out a letter and gave it to all the teachers saying that I would be the resource person here, and if the days that I would be here so that they could ask any questions or come down if they wanted to. And I've had several inquiries from different teachers. I've given them some posters. I've given them some literature. It's been a good response, I think.
What is the Year 2000 program?
This is a new program that's sponsored going to be sponsored by the Cancer Society beginning next year in '88. And it's going to be aimed towards the elementary schools, and they're going to work with them, teaching them, along with the Cancer Society, the Heart Association, and the Lung Association, and going to teach them to have a smokeless society. And it should be a real good promotion.
Thank you, Mrs. Ledwig. This has been Sean Holland reporting for WGLH. Now back to the station.
Everyone likes to think we know a lot about the cure and prevention of cancer, but we really don't.
In our next story, Kristen is going to tell us something we may or may not know. Let's watch.
March 17th is an invigorating holiday, a day which you will probably find many people wearing green. Although some Gahanna students do dress up for the day, they could never compare to the Irish students. Since St. Pat chose to practice his priesthood in Ireland above all other nations, the Irish honor him by making this day the most celebrated holiday and the most significant holy day in their country. You see, he is responsible for making Ireland the great Catholic nation it is today. Ironically, March 17th is not his birthday, but the day upon which he died back in approximately 461 AD. St. Patrick's Day has been a national holiday in the United States since 1845, and I feel confident that it will continue to be recognized for many years. So put on a piece of the green. This has been Kristen Hampton, the holiday reporter for WGLH.
I've been wearing green all week. How about you, Gwen?
No, but I did wear it today.
I noticed. You look very nice.
Thanks, Amy. Now let's look at something else that looks nice. Here's Stephanie. We have some other students that are tripping. Here's Valita with the story on indoor track.
The Gahanna Lincoln track team held their first official outdoor track practice on February 29th after school. Both the boys and girls teams have participated in indoor track meets which were held at Otterbein on Fridays dating back to February 26th. Todd Page, the captain of the boys team, had his views of the boys team this year so far.
Real well. We're looking good. We've had a few, I guess you can call them meets like scrimmages, and we're pretty much beating up on the competition, so we're looking good.
The boys and girls' first home outdoor meet is scheduled for April the 12th against Groveport. And from the benefits of indoor track, the team is well on their way to start the outdoor season off with a bang. This has been Valita Johnson reporting for WGLH-TV. Now back to the studio.
I need to be involved in track. I don't get enough exercise.
Sure, Amy. I've seen you running around the basketball court with a camera on your back.
That's true, but you did a little of that yourself when you worked on the Black History story. Let's watch it.
February is Black History Month, a month set aside to acknowledge the many accomplishments and struggles of the black race. In honor of Black History Month, Gahanna Lincoln High School has erected 2 display cases full of great people and their accomplishments. In the guidance office display case, there is a collection of artwork from parts of Africa, along with pictures of other great men in history. There is also a game that tests your knowledge of black history called Identity. In the library display case, there are pictures of educators, and there are also many books written by people like Alice Walker and Maya Angelou. Records of talented musicians such as DeBarge, Prince, New Edition, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, and The Time. These people have set standards artistically and creatively for others to follow. They bring us happiness and sometimes sadness. I spoke with some students here at Gahanna Lincoln and asked them what Black History Month meant to them.
Well, it gives me a chance to learn about my culture.
This month is important to black people because it's Black History Month. This month we take out time to acknowledge the fact that a lot of black people set out that they were leaders and they had to show us a pathway, what we should do, and how things were good for us.
Through talking with some of the students here at Gahanna Lincoln High School, I found that Black History Month has a special meaning to everyone. This has been Gwen Barker reporting for WGLH. And now, back to the studio.
That was a good story, Gwen.
Thank you, Amy. Now let's watch Tim's stories on the debate team.
The Gahanna Lincoln High School varsity debate team qualified for state after a 6-3 record at district competition. The team will be traveling to Austintown Fitch to compete for a chance at going to nationals. The 4 members of the varsity squad are first affirmative Debbie Zelli, second affirmative Skip Evans, first negative Steve Fox, and second negative Billy Joe Washburn. Believe me, viewers, 4-man debate is no simple task. This year's resolution is that the federal government should adopt a policy to increase political stability in Latin America. I asked Debbie Zelli how she felt about the state tournament, and she had this to say. I'm looking forward to the challenge. We've worked hard and debated well all year. I think we've earned our place. Other qualifiers for state are Amy Hamer in prose and poetry, and Audrey Cantor in domestic extemporaneous speaking. Let's listen to some of their arguments.
I said, why aren't they doing it now?
I can't answer that.
Okay. Is there any reason why both the negative plan and the affirmative plan cannot be instituted at the same time?
There's no reason for the affirmative plan because...
I didn't ask you that. I asked you if they could or could not.
All these European countries come into Latin America, and we ask the question, why aren't they in there?
Good luck, debaters. May your logic be with you. For WGLH-TV, this has been Tim Lakin reporting. Now back to the studio.
I hope they win.
I do too. It takes a lot of precious hours of precious time to debate. And in order to help students with their time, Channel 25, Educable TV, has initiated a new program for students in grades 4 through 12 called Homework Hotline. The program will begin airing Monday at 4:30 p.m. and will start at February 1st. This will enable the students to call the station to ask teachers for assistance in math and reading.
That should be a big help to students having trouble with their homework.
It sure will. We have a new athletic director here at the high school. Here's Todd with the story.
As a teacher and a coach, Mr. John Dean has experienced many things over the years. Now he can add one more job to his list of experiences. Mr. Dean has been named as the new athletic director for the Gahanna Lincoln High School. I had a chance to talk to Mr. Dean and ask him a few questions.
Mr. Dean, why did you decide to take the job as athletic director here at Gahanna Lincoln High School?
Well, I pursued it because I've always been involved in athletics. As a teacher and coach for 14 years, I've coached football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, a little bit of everything. So I'm very much interested in an area and wanted the chance to affect it at the administrative level.
What will you miss most about teaching?
Well, probably the close contact with students. I really enjoy teaching. I've taught government specifically for about the last 6 years, and I really miss, I think that one-on-one contact with students is something that worries me. I'm worried a little bit about missing that, but I think at the other end I have a chance to affect a lot more people by being athletic director.
Now that you're athletic director at Gahanna Lincoln, what changes would you like to see made in the athletic programs?
Well, I think I guess say first of all, I think our athletic programs are in very good shape. I'm not coming into saying that we're in bad shape. We have to do this and we have to do that. I think hopefully what I can do is maybe put us on a little bit different track in that we need to be making sure that the athletes are upholding the high principles that we've set for them. I think at the other end, I think there's some things we can do with coaches as far as their feelings with students, their input with the administration, and maybe I can help them in terms of easing their way as far as their ability to coach, their ability to get along with students, etc. Those are the things. That's why I really went after the job. I think there's some things that that maybe I can go about doing that I don't want to say haven't been done, but just some things that I think we need. For example, we have a problem with year-round sports. We have a problem with doing things 365 days a year. I don't think that's fair to students, and so that's something we need to sit down and talk about as a coaching staff and those kind of things.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Congratulations on your new job.
Thank you, Todd.
We here at WGLH would like to thank Mr. Dean for his years as a teacher, and we would like to wish him good luck in his new job as athletic director. This has been Todd Spencer for WGLH-TV. Now back to the studio.
I hope he enjoys his new job. He'll really be missed in the classroom. But appointing a new athletic director wasn't the only thing the school board changed. They also came up with the 1988-89 new school calendar, and the highlights of the calendar include the following. August 29th is the first day for teachers. August 31st, classes begin. December 22nd to January 2nd is winter vacation, and March 24th to the 31st is spring vacation. June 9th, classes end, and June 12th is the last day for teachers.
I would really appreciate getting a break in March instead of waiting until April.
I know what you mean. I love school, but it's really nice when you get a vacation.
That's the spirit, Amy. You know, it's really great that we have such great school spirit. We know it's there, but it takes something to bring it out in you. Mark did a story on the Lions, which really drove the point home. Let's watch.
Lions, lions, lions. Here at Gahanna, they prowl everywhere. And people all over Gahanna have the pride of the lions. They're proud to be a lion. And Gahanna is known as Lion Country, because we're the home of the Golden Lions. The pride of the Lions is found throughout our sportings program. Our soccer team and our football team, all OCC. Our tennis players did a fabulous job this year. And the band who supported the football and all the sports all the way. And the girls' basketball winning the OCC. And the guys came together and let everyone see that pride of the Lions. And let's not forget those fans. That pride is also found in the classrooms and on the debate team and the choirs and all the other activities in school. Lions can be found all throughout the halls, on the walls, on the doors, on jackets, everywhere. Lions can be found prowling all outside, all over the grounds. There's even a few inside. And now, thanks to the art teacher, Mr. Smith, there's one in the gym. Mr. Smith said it was quite a challenge. He spent 12 8-hour days working on the lion, and he said it was quite hard using oily paints, which often run. He was on a scaffolding. The poorest brick didn't make it any easier, and block letters are hard enough sitting down. It is hard to believe this is the first artwork like this he has done. The painting found on the gym wall was one chosen out of 4 submitted to the administration. Then Mr. Smith took over. He first penciled it in, and then he painted it. And Mr. Smith, we'd like to thank you for the great job you've done, something that all the Lions can be proud of. And the next time you're around the gym, stop by and check out the new lion, showing off the pride of the Lions.
That story is a great lead-in for sports. What do you have for us, Tim?
Lots of good things happening, lassies. First off, in boys basketball, the varsity team met up with Grove City, clinching the victory by a score of 53-47. The varsity boys were again crowned victorious after meeting and defeating Westerville South 55-47. In varsity girls basketball, the girls marked up a win by a score of 36-30 over Reynoldsburg. In the last 2 games by the girls, Upper Arlington lost to Gahanna with the score being 50-49. And the Lady Lions' most recent matchup with Pickerington gave the girls 1 more loss. However, these fine young ladies were crowned the OCC champs, and congratulations are in order. Good work, ladies. Here's Amy with more on basketball.
The Lady Lions were victorious in their first tournament game on February 20th with a 71-31 win over Walnut Ridge. The Lions were led by Carol Dotson with 16 points, Sarah Merklin with 13 points, Mindy Wolf with 11 points, and 8 points plus 8 rebounds by Kelly Worley. The Lady Lions may have lost their second tournament game on February 27th, but there were several outstanding players. Sarah Merklin was selected to the district coach's all-district first team. Mindy Wolf was selected second team all-district. Lady Lion fans will have one more chance to watch Sarah Merklin, Mindy Wolf, and Julie Badgett as those 3 were selected to play March 31st and the district all-star game. The game will be played at Worthington High School at 8 o'clock p.m. and matches the best girl players in Central Ohio. Congratulations also go to the following members of the boys basketball team who received all Ohio Capital Conference recognition. Matt Kramer received unanimous first team, Rick Cromwell made second team, and Tom Bowman got honorable mention. Also in sports, the freshman wrestling team finished their season on February 20th at the All-Ohio Freshman Tournament. They finished in 5th place, led by Jim Dudley, placing first, Paul Taberry second, Robbie Heine second. Their overall record is 44-10. Congratulations to all Gahanna Lincoln High School sports teams. You did a great job this weekend. This has been Amy Wallace for WGLH-TV.
In wrestling, the freshman wrestling team obliterated the freshman team from Westerville South by a score of 70-6. At the Dublin Wrestling Tournament, the freshman team Lions ranked 5th. The reserve team annihilated Westerville South 62-4, while the varsity boys defeated the Westerville varsity by a score of 30-26.
Thanks, Tim. And now we need to say goodbye until next week.
Be sure to watch WGLH next week when Debbie Zelli does a report on Gahanna Middle School West. This has been Gwen Barker.
And Amy Wallace.
And Tim Lakin saying, "Kiss me, I'm Irish."
Have a happy St. Patrick's Day.